This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
He died as he lived, a hero.
It doesn't result in structural change in these universities to really uproot this culture of DEI.
I am burning up out here.
The problem at its core is that we've gotten away from God.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Flags are flying at half-staff across New York State today in honor of those who lost their lives to a gunman in Manhattan. That gunman drove from Nevada to New York City to carry out the attack. Mayor Eric Adams.
He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury. The NFL headquarters is located in the building.
Investigative teams are now on their way to Las Vegas to launch a probe where he was from. That gunman killed 4 people, then turned the weapon on himself. One of the 4, a New York City policeman with 2 children. His wife due with her 3rd baby next month. Jessica Tisch is the NYPD commissioner.
Shot in cold blood, wearing a uniform that stood for the promise that he made to this city. He died as he lived. A hero. Investigators say it does not appear to be an act of terror.
Initially, I thought this has to be terrorism, but no, this is a simple case of mental illness.
He had 2 mental health incidents in Nevada. That's going to matter.
Now to higher education. Harvard is considering making a deal to resolve their civil rights case with President Trump, a deal worth $500 million.
Harvard wants to settle, but I think Columbia handled it better. But they have a very good Obama-appointed judge, and so they'll get a little kick out of that. But ultimately, we win their case.
Trump angered over how Jewish students there were treated during campus protests. John Yoo was the former Deputy Assistant Attorney General.
I don't think these universities actually ever want to go to trial. They don't want to have to put these university presidents and members of the board and question them under oath about why they didn't do more to stop these attacks on Jewish students, to stop the harassment of Jewish faculty.
Yoo says it may take more than a court case, though, to root out DEI.
From the university's perspective, they might just say, let's pay this one fine, and then we'll go back to getting the very generous grants for research and for teaching that the federal government makes available. And then it's just a one-time off victory for President Trump and doesn't result in structural change in these universities to really uproot this culture of DEI, to really prevent anti-Semitism that has spread like a virus throughout our higher colleges and universities.
In the driver's seat, President Trump scored a huge win while he was in Europe over the weekend, a trade deal with the European Union. At that forum, the president said China is next.
China's tough, but we're going to see what happens. These are, look, they're smart people, they're tough negotiators. They know what they want. But we're going to be setting a tariff for essentially the rest of the world. And that's what they're going to pay if they want to do business in the United States.
Dan Greenhouse is with Solus Alternative Asset Management.
The deals that he is striking, so to speak, now with Japan, with Europe, is the framework by which the Chinese deal is ultimately going to be organized.
20 states are under heat advisories or warnings today, including much of central and eastern Pennsylvania and New York's eastern southern tier. Charlie Shaw is under a heat advisory. He's a lifeguard in Wisconsin.
I am burning up out here. On our breaks, we jump in from time to time, which is really nice for keeping us cool.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz.
You're looking at a huge swath of the country with at least some sort of heat alert up and down the East Coast, back across the Gulf of America, up into the Midwest, and across portions of the plains. All areas where we're talking about obscenely warm temperatures.
We're about 10 degrees above average, but a cool down is coming. Kevin has details in 2 minutes. And Chicago pastor Corey Brooks is marching across the United States to raise $25 million for disadvantaged kids. It's called Project Hood, which stands for Helping Others Obtain Destiny. He tells Fox News.
It's possible for transformation. It's possible for change. When we bring hope together, when we put God at the center of community and family, anything can happen.
Brooks says the reason at the heart of dysfunction is the absence of Christ.
The problem at its core is that we've gotten away from God. Our country has gotten away from God. Our families and communities have gotten away from God, and we need a spiritual awakening in America. That's one of the reasons why I'm walking across America, to take the hope to people across cities and suburbs and countrysides to let them know that we can change things.
His walk across the U.S. begins September 1st. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, the lack of rain is becoming an issue for farmers. The investigation into Pennsylvania Republican Mike Kelly is over. And do the Pennsylvania State Police pull certain people over more often? We have the results of a new study after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The call for tonight, partly cloudy and balmy, low temperatures mid-60s to low 70s. For tomorrow, quite warm and humid with clouds and sunshine. A couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. High temperatures 80s to near 90. On Thursday, cooler, mainly cloudy, showers around. The most focused rainfall on Thursday will be across central and eastern Pennsylvania with some thundery downpours possible there. High temperatures Thursday in the 70s.
All right, Kevin, checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Rainfall has been spotty in both states this spring and summer, making things tough on area farmers. Karen Reeves with Reeves Farms near Syracuse tells WSYR irrigation has helped to a point.
My brother and some of our employees do all the irrigation. They've just been running it nonstop all night long. You can't afford to do that on something like soybeans. You're just not going to get the price that you need to pay for that. You're just hoping and praying for some rain so that they grow a little more.
So far, the Syracuse area has recorded the 11th driest July on record, following the 11th wettest May on record. We've got some rain on deck on Thursday. A congressional panel has wrapped up an ethics investigation into a Pennsylvania congressman. That story from Family Life's Mark Webster.
Yeah, the 5-year-long probe by the House Ethics Committee was over insider trading allegations against Erie area Republican Mike Kelly's wife. The panel says it found no evidence Kelly knowingly caused his wife to trade based on insider information in her purchase of stock in the Cleveland Cliffs Butler Works plant. However, the report does find him in violation of the House's Code of Official Conduct for failing to acknowledge the seriousness of the alleged misconduct. Kelly is a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
School districts are gearing up for another climate control mandate from the state of New York. By 2035, all school buses must be all electric. Most districts say that timeline is unrealistic. Mike Ginistry is superintendent of the Sweet Home School District in Buffalo.
I think it's a very aggressive timeline, but we're going to act aggressive at Sweet Home to meet this timeline and to meet the deadline. So we didn't want to come into 2035 and tell our taxpayers, look, we need 60 electric buses and we need them now. So this has been a long-term effort at Sweet Home, and we're going to continue with our efforts to flip our fleet.
Niagara Falls Superintendent Mark Laurie says the added cost in going all electric is just one factor to consider.
One of the concerns I have is the ability to construct the infrastructure that is going to be needed to power those buses. So it's not just the purchase of the buses, but our concern is the infrastructure needed to be built to charge the buses.
Governor Hochul is making $200 million available to help school districts make the switch to electric buses. And from buses to squad cars, just in case you were wondering, the Pennsylvania State Police stop drivers at similar rates, regardless of race or ethnicity, a new study shows. That study, led by Ohio State University and polled from PSP data collection, 433,000 people were in a traffic stop with the Pennsylvania State Police in 2024. Next at 5, hometown heroes and a ministry making a difference for the unborn. Let's listen in.
Providing pregnancy care and a whole lot more. Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Michael Arrington, director of CareNet in Penn Yan, New York, a ministry providing numerous services for pregnant women, mothers, and fathers in the Finger Lakes. How did CareNet come to be there in Penn Yan?
We were originally a satellite to the Geneva office. It's now called Family Hope Center. We still work really closely with them. In fact, we do referrals to them and to Bath for ultrasounds because we're probably the smallest CareNet in the area. We don't really have the ability to do that. So I think about 13 years ago, this broke off as its own CareNet center. We've kind of been our own location for a while now.
All right. And for those who are unfamiliar, what is CareNet about? Why are you there?
It's a nonprofit agency, and our goal goal is to provide information to women, men, couples, anyone initially facing an unplanned pregnancy, but really even planned pregnancy. We find that we help as many people who are just not really abortion minded or abortion vulnerable, but they just need some help.
That is quite a wide range of services you provide. One that really caught my eye on your website was post-abortion support.
We have two women here, one who has been through an abortion and one who just has a heart for people who are struggling with that. We have only one client right now in that program, but we only really started advertising it heavily when both of these women came forward and said they really want to focus on that. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get a few more in. I think that's one of the things that people aren't told when they just call Planned Parenthood. The basic message for someone offering an abortion is, oh yeah, it's safe and it's effective, and really once it's over. There's nothing else you need to worry about. And they don't talk about the potential psychological effects after, and they really don't even talk about, which amazes me more than anything, the potential physical impacts leading into. I think you've probably seen the recent news about the abortion pill.
Right.
The studies that were used to approve it have proven to be less than not even 20% of what the actual potential negative effects are from that pill.
Right.
Those are the facts and the truth that we try to share with people. And then we just try to build their trust and let them come in. And we're a Christian agency, and everything we do, we try to be led by God. And so we don't judge anyone. And that's the reason for the after abortion care, grief share, is to just share the love of God and the forgiveness of God that's available to them.
That's Michael Arrington, director of CareNet in Penn Yan, New York. You can subscribe, listen to, and share Hometown Heroes and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Philippians 4:19 reads, "And my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus." Hi, I'm Rob West with your Faith and Finance Minute. But what does that verse really mean? Obviously, the most important need God has provided is salvation through faith in his Son, Jesus Christ. But after that, is there a limit to God's earthly provision for us? Yes. Philippians 4 does not say, "And my God will provide every want of yours, only your needs, according to his sovereign will." This flies in the face of the so-called prosperity gospel, which falsely claims that God will reward you with material wealth according to your faith. Scripture never promises riches, but it does promise God's faithful provision. Manage your finances wisely with the easy-to-use FaithFi app. Download FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store, or learn more at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, want to buy a bicycle that flies? We'll tell you where after one last look at weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. We've got a quiet night ahead of us, but some changes are on the way. A pair of cold fronts will be delivering some showers and thunderstorms, and then in their wake, much cooler air. Much nicer conditions will follow at week's end. The call for tonight, partly cloudy and balmy, low temperatures mid-60s to low 70s. For tomorrow, quite warm and humid with clouds and sunshine, a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, high temperatures 80s to near 90. On Thursday, cooler, mainly cloudy, showers around. The most focused rainfall on Thursday will be across central and eastern Pennsylvania with some thundery downpours possible there. High temperatures Thursday in the 70s.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally at 5, from a galaxy far, far away. High-powered air bikes, bicycles that fly in the air, inspired by Star Wars, are taking the internet by storm. Some influencers are in doubt that the bikes actually exist, though. Is it just AI?
I'll be honest. My brain is struggling a little bit to believe that this thing is real.
Is it real? Is it fake? Is it AI generated?
But this time it actually is real. A Polish company called Volonaut just released video of their space-aged flyers. They're powered by jet propulsion and can reach speeds of 124 miles an hour. It's also 7 times lighter than a motorcycle and easy to ride. It's going to cost you, though, one bike, $880,000. And that's the world that we live in for Tuesday, the 29th of July. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.